بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم لا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله العلي العظيم الحمد لله رب العالمين وصلى الله على سيدنا محمد وآله الطيبين الطاهرين
اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد.
اللهم أخرجني من ظلمات الوهم وأكرمني بنور الفهم اللهم افتح علينا أبواب رحمتك وانشر علينا خزائن علومك برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين. Yesterday we talked about desire for justice, search for justice. And we said this is a very important characteristic of a good human being, a good Muslim, a good Shia. And then we said among things that we have to observe as rights for people is rights that people have with respect to their dignity and honor. We should safeguard our honor. We should also respect other people's honor. Indeed, not only we should respect people's honor, we should try to add to the honor of people, especially those people who are under your care and training. You should help them to develop a great sense of self-honoring and also honoring other people. So this discussion is very important, and I want to, inshallah, talk about this issue today. But as I said, alhamdulillah, we had 10 lectures on honor and dignity in Islam here, and they are available online, and you can follow that. Also, I had another series of lectures on honorable life in Islam. So one was given in months of Ramadan, one was given in Muharram. And the reason for my focus on dignity and honor in these lectures has been something that I would like to share with you. Of course, every person who understands even a little bit the Quran and Sunnah realizes that in Islam, karama and izzah are very important. One of the names of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is Aziz. Inna al-izzata lillah wa li rasulihi wa lil mu'minin. Izzah is from Allah. Man kana yuridu al-izzah falillahi al-izzatu jami'a. And also Allah has given izzah to people. لَقَدْ كَرَّمْنَا بَنِي آدَمَ. And on top of that izzah and karama that Allah has given to every person through taqwa, through good qualities, we can add to our honor. This is something that in details we have discussed in those lectures. So there is no doubt that izzah, honor, dignity are very important. To the extent that Ayatollah Mutahari says, for years he has been thinking, and increasingly he came to believe that the issue of karama, the issue of honor, is the core of Islamic ethics. I agree with this, but in Akhlaq series in the Hose, we explained that this is another side of the same coin. We believe that truthfulness is the core, and honor is connected to truthfulness. So if you are interested, then in Hose series on Akhlaq, we have discussed this. I can give you the number of the session about this issue later, inshallah. So I believe that honor is very important. But I have an additional reason, and I would like to share with you because I think this should give us a direction in our education and also in our other activities in our communities when it comes to presenting Islam. You know, we have been working for centuries on introducing message of Imam Hussein alayhi salam to the people of the world. Of course, most of the time, this was not our priority. Our priority was how much ourselves can learn and benefit and get sawab. But more or less, for Shia has always been interest in how to introduce Imam Hussein alayhi salam to other people. People have highlighted different characteristics, have stressed on different qualities. In recent years, when people, for example, want to put a banner or something, for example, on buses or on billboards, they try to choose a message. And I don't know if you have had this experience. If you want to do something like this, it's not easy. What type of message you can give from Imam Hussein to the people of the world today? Sometimes I see people say things that are not relevant to the people today, or are relevant to the people today, but it's not very obvious about the Imam Hussein's, movement. You cannot impose your ideas on Imam Hussein as a person and as a leader. Must be something naturally coming from him. So, I have been thinking a lot about this issue. And one of the things also that I found very important is that you have, in any campaign, in any marketing, in any work with public, I think you need also to have concentration. For example, a very, very simple example. If I have a product that I want to sell, suppose I want to sell a car, I should know that for this market, what is the main requirement for a good car? Is it the size, which is important? Is it the comfort? Is the speed? Is the beauty? Is the reliability? Is the price? Safety. So there are different issues about car. Of course, I'm not a car dealer, but these are the things that I think we all think about. If I come and tell you I want to sell you a car that in everything is the best, and then I divide my energy on all these things, but your concern is only one of them, then I would lose you. Because I have divided my energy and only part of my energy goes to what you are interested in, plus you think I am exaggerating. How can a car be good in everything? The same is, for example, with a book. If I want to, for example, publicize a book, I should see what are the expectations of people about the book, and then prioritize and focus on one or two or maximum three. But if, I give a list of 20, 30 things and say in everything my book is the best, or the book that I want to sell is the best, people don't take it seriously. And my message will get lost. This is why you see even political parties, when they want to, for example, go to the election, they try to highlight very few things as priority and focus on them. Although they may have lots of other things, but they try to prioritize. Sometimes one or two, things come in their mottos or, banners. So about 3 years ago, maybe 2.5 years ago, a person came to my office and he talked about idea of having an encyclopedia on Imam Hussein alayhi salam. And I said, this is a good idea for scholars, but I don't think this is a good idea for presenting Imam Hussein alayhi salam. And I said, instead of saying 1,000 things about Imam Hussein, if you have encyclopedia, you have to say thousands of things. Try to choose one central message and say it in 1,000 ways.
Yeah.
Not say 1,000 things once. Find what is the most central thing and say it in 1,000 ways. That is the way it works. So then I tried myself to find out what would be that one central message that I think we should promote. And I had to consider few things. First, this should be something that obviously, naturally comes from Imam Hussein alayhi salam's life and sayings. So you can find it easily there. Secondly, this should be something which is also important in Islam as a whole. Because we cannot think that the main message of Karbala is something different from the main message of Islam. Otherwise, it means that they are going to two different directions. So what is the main message of Imam Hussein has to be the main message of Islam. Also, it has to be the main message of all the prophets, because the message of Islam is not different in its core from other prophets. And also, it has to be the same thing for which Imam Mahdi is going to have his movement. Because this cannot be separate. And we have lots of ideas about the connection between Imam Mahdi and Imam Hussein. I have some lectures on this if you are interested. The connection between Imam Hussein and Imam Mahdi. So, something very central and obvious in Imam Hussein's life and sayings, something very central in Islam and all messages, something which is very central in Imam Mahdi's mission, plus something that humanity is interested in. You cannot, talk about something marginal or something that it's not a priority or, an issue for people. It has to be something great. Also, as much as possible, this last one is optional, if you can. If that is something which is novel and virgin, something that not too much talk has been said about it. Because if other people have already talked about this, it makes it more difficult for you. But this is not necessity, because sometimes maybe you have to talk about something that already people have talked about it. But it's better if it is something novel. So having all this in my mind, then I was thinking, what is that single or maybe two, but hopefully one thing that we can draw out of Imam Hussein's life and sayings that meet all these requirements. And then we can focus on this. And I came to this conclusion that that is honor and dignity. So if we start a campaign calling for honorable life for all human beings, then we can have Imam Hussein alayhi salam as an icon that demonstrated with his life and martyrdom that honor is the most important thing. Dignity is the most important thing, even more important than your physical life. And there are lots of references to this in sayings of Imam Hussein alayhi salam. You are all familiar, Hayhat min nadhillah, or Inna da'i ibn da'i qad rakazani bayna as-sitlatayn bayna zallati wa sallah. قد ركزني بين اثنتين بين الصلة والذلة وهيهات من الذلة يعبى الله ذلك لنا وحجور ورسوله وحجور طابت وطهرت. And there are other things that we have mentioned in those lectures. This issue of honor is very important. This issue of honor is also what Islam wants. This is what Imam Mahdi would bring, because this is the most important right of people. And Imam Mahdi, when he calls for justice, it's not just giving water or food or education. These are all important, but the most important thing that a just society should provide is karama, is honor. Allahumma inna narghabu ilayka fi dawlatin karimah tu'izzu biha al-islam wa ahla. So karama, izzah, lots of references are there. I am just giving you the idea. Inshallah, if you are interested, go back to that. So therefore, I thought, and I mentioned this to some of the youths and organizations who work in this field, that we have to work on honor and dignity. And this is also something that not many people have talked about it. Yeah? It's somehow novel. At the same time, it's something that all human beings with their fitra, they want. And also it's something which is not very controversial. For example, I said, for example, imagine if in a country there is a problem between people and government, or between people and those who have invaded or occupied. There are problems. If you want to use the language of justice, then people, may have different opinions. Some say, no, we are just. Some people say, no, we are just. We are defending ourselves. They say, we are, defending our rights. But I think if you approach through the concept of honor, say, no matter who is right, are you treating your citizens, your people with honor? Is this honor that we see that you are giving to people? Even if you are right, you have to treat people with honor. This is not honorable way of treating your people. So it's something that is not very subjective, very ambiguous, very controversial. Every person understands what honor requires. So my suggestion is that in our own life, in the way we train our children and students, in the way we present Islam, we need to focus on honor and dignity. Nothing that conflicts with honor should come from us. We should actually be pioneers. We should be most respectful people to others' honor and dignity. Not that, na'uzu billah, we would be careless about this. So, this is why then I tried to give these two series of lectures. One was on honor and dignity Islam, one was honorable life, and some of them are also published, and inshallah the rest will be published. So I hope inshallah in your studies and in your teaching, you take this as one of your priorities. Our students should develop great sense of, first, self-honor, because if they don't have this honor for themselves, they can do everything. If someone has no regard for himself, has no value for himself, then they can do bad things. But someone who has honor for himself, he would not do bad things. He would not go to wrong places. Yeah? Automatically, he would be protected. We have this beautiful hadith, "Man hanat alayhi nafsuhu, fala ta'man sharrah." So if someone has no value for himself, you cannot be safe. فَلَا تَأْمَنْ شَرَّهُ. You cannot be safe with respect to his harm and bad actions coming to you. On the other hand, if someone is kareem, has karama, has honor and dignity, he would not have any inclination towards harming other people. Even using bad words. People who are really honorable, they don't use bad words. You know, some people don't use bad words because they say other people hear from me and this is bad. Okay, this is at least stopping them. But if you have honor, even when you are alone, you shouldn't say bad things. If you have honor, even if you are alone, you would not watch certain movies, for example, or, you know, even, for example, with respect to your own dress. You know, if someone has honor for himself or herself, doesn't go nakedly around in the house, even if he or she is alone. It's honoring yourself. You know, even some ulama were very careful about this and very concerned. For example, there was an alim that even at home it was always with Abba and Amame, even at home. So some people ask him, you know, Agha, why you are putting too much trouble on yourself? There is no one here. He said, I am here. So I am honoring myself. Okay? So I don't say to this extent, but at least something very reasonable, something very honorable. So in Islam, even when you are alone, it's recommended that you have proper dress. Not that, you know, you have no, yes.
After I have a question.
Yes.
What about, like, you speak of dignity and honor, about, let's say, the people, Muslim people live in the Western, they like to hide their character in Muslim culture, how the way they treat Muslims, they make them not feel like much honor inside them as a Muslim. I don't know, did you check? I get sometimes, you know,
if we have deep sense of honor from within, even if people humiliate us, insult us, disregard us, would not harm us. Yeah? Because you know that you are honored. You know, if, for example, I am very established scholar, and some people say, we don't believe in this. If I am sure, and I have all my credentials and certificates and, you know, teachers endorsing me, I don't bother. I say, okay, make yourself tired, you know, whatever you want to do. But if I am not established, then I would be starting even doubting myself. You know, sometimes when people question you, first you get angry, but after some time you question even yourself. You doubt yourself. You lose your confidence, you know.
It's important for the new generation that
yes.
to work on them.
Yeah.
Our children.
Yeah, that's very important. Imam Kazim alayhi salam said to Hisham ibn Hakam that if in your hand you have a jewelry and people say this is just an almond, you don't start doubting when you know that this is jewelry in my hand. And if you have almond or walnut and people say, mashallah, you have jewelry, you shouldn't feel happy because people think that you have jewelry. You know that you don't have jewelry. So actually, this is one of the requirements of rationality, that for you, the opinion of other people about you is important. It's not good that we say we don't care about what people think about us. This is wrong. We do care about what other people think about us. You know, we have hadith that, for example, condemn people who don't care about other people's opinion. We do care about other people's opinion, but first, it's not that all people's opinions have the same value. The first is going to good people, pious people. Their opinion is very important. But even average people, their opinion is important. Even I think the opinion of your enemy is important. If you can make the opinion of your enemy worse, why you do that? Don't do it worse. Every person should try to make sure that as much as possible gives good impression to other people, as much as possible. We have to be careful about this. But I cannot live according to expectations of other people. I have to have my own principles, my own values, my own direction in life. But on the side, I have to always check what people think about me. If I am wrong, I have to correct myself. If I am right and they still have bad opinion, let me see how we can get closer to overcome this. I don't like this mentality of some people that say, you know, do what you want, say what you want, no matter what people think about you. This is not good. This is not Islamic. You have to try that at the same time that you move towards your ideals, your values, you keep your principles, at the same time check yourself with respect to what other people say. If they say something about you that is right, change yourself. If it is not right, try to negotiate, to talk with them, to solve this misunderstanding. We cannot disregard bad image or bad impression that other people have about us. We don't bother. Yes, if you do your best, in the end of the day, there would be people who would not be happy and pleased. You cannot do anything, but you have to do your best. So, our children, our young students, we should give them this much of approach, this type of approach, and this much of honor, that they are confident, they are strong, but at the same time they are polite. They know how to live in this society as respected citizen of this society, but also who plans for himself and who chooses what type of life he wants to have. He's not affected by media or, for example, pressure coming from peers, or, for example, pressure coming from, the industry. So it's very delicate issue. But this would, inshallah, make us very successful. To keep your identity with honor, but at the same time to understand how to relate to other people. A topic that in the last about year or so I have been mentioning in a few places is actually what type of understanding of identity we should have today. First, I gave this in University of Palermo in Italy. So I was there, I think it was last September, and they invited me to give a speech in the opening of the 28th annual conference of those who teach Islam and Arabic in Europe. So every year they meet in one European city. So this year was in Palermo. So I talked about this, also available online. I said, in the past, our understanding of identity for many people was mostly on how to distance yourself from others, how to make a line between you and others. You know, like for example, a country that first starts with making borders very strong. Yes, it's important that you have borders, but you cannot invest only on having borders. And then what happens if people travel to your country? So I said now in this age that we have lots of cross-cultural, cross-religious, cross-ethnicity relations, part of our understanding of our identity has to be what we are, not what we are not. What we are and how we can relate to others. This is a very important thing. For example, a Shia today should not only know what does it mean to be Shia, or just to know that we are not Sunni, or we are not, for example, Christian or Jew. No. You have to understand what does it mean to be Shia and what we as Shia should do to relate to other people. What is my understanding of other Muslims? What is my understanding of other religions? What is my understanding of other people, other human beings? This is something that is part of a good sense of identity today. Otherwise, either you lose your identity or you become very rigid and exclusive. And you say to people, don't go there, don't touch these people, don't talk to these people, because you are losing your identity. And this will isolate us. This is not good. So at the same time that you have to be very clear about your own identity, but also you have to be very clear on how to reach out, how to relate to other people, how to accommodate other people. This is a very important part of today's sense of identity. Yes.
From my experience with working with students, different ages, I found out that there is like 3 types of generation now. One, they are, as we said, they are separated, they make a border around themselves, they don't want to, relate it with others. The other one, they are confused and they don't know who they are.
Yeah.
I'm a Muslim or I'm not. And the other one, they try to fit the new society or new Western society, and they are melting with the West. So the one they're melting with the West, now they lost. And the one they have that border as well, I think, in my opinion, as well they are isolated, they are West. The problem is between the middle one, they don't know who they are. I am an English, or I am an Arab, or I am, this is a
So this is why this discussion is very important.
Yeah.
This is very important, and this is hopefully giving you a clue on how you have to introduce Islam and Islamic identity to them. Unfortunately, some people, because they are not very experienced, and also somehow internally they feel weak, they isolate themselves. This is not good. On the other hand, if you don't value and appreciate your tradition and your own, background, you may easily also dilute and compromise. The balanced position is important. And there are many, many things to say about this. Even, for example, when it comes to Sunni-Shia relation or Islam and other religions, there are many issues here. I would like to end with a reference to Imam Sadiq alayhi salam. I have a lecture also you can watch, or maybe it's audio just, about, I think there's also a video as well, about Imam Sadiq's strategy in presenting Islam. You know, we are very much in debt to Imam Sadiq alayhi salam. We are Ja'fari, in the sense that our identity is somehow marked by what Imam Sadiq alayhi salam has done. Okay? It's not only fiqh. Yes, our fiqh is Ja'fari, but even when it comes to our aqaid, to our akhlaq, we have many hadiths from Imam Sadiq that without them we were not what we are today. So there is no doubt that Imam Sadiq alayhi salam strengthened the school of Ahlul Bayt and has contributed to the formation of our identity. But how did Imam Sadiq do that? Did he do that by fighting other Muslims? Did he do that by not fighting, but, for example, distancing himself from them because he said, I want to establish identity of the Shia and I want to educate them and form them, so I have to take them to an island, for example, or, a cave or desert and train them? No. He did it in Medina, in the most central place for all Muslims. He even didn't take them, for example, to Qom. Yeah? He did it in Medina, in the most central place. And he did it in the eyes and ear of thousands of people who that majority of them were not Shia. When Imam Sadiq was teaching, many people who attended his lectures, they were not Shia. They were not even ordinary non-Shia. They were top scholars of other schools of Islam. Even, like Abu Hanifa, for example, for 2 years, he was a student. Can you just imagine how wise, careful, respectful Imam was, that these people, days after days, weeks after weeks, years after years, they were going to his lectures without feeling offended. Because for a person from one mazhab to go to the leader of another mazhab is not easy. Especially if he's a respected scholar of one mazhab, going to another person for years, it's not easy. How much attraction was there? How much respect, how much love was there that was making it easy for them to go? I don't think most of us, maybe great majority of us, know how to speak like that, how to teach like that. We, unfortunately, most of the time only know how to speak to ourselves. We don't know how to speak to others in the way that they understand, they appreciate, but at the same time you are strengthening your people. No one can say, Na'udhu Billah, Imam Sadiq alayhi salam, because he was very pro-unity or very open to other people, he, Na'udhu Billah, compromised. He is the one who actually has saved us and strengthened us. But with this approach, and even in contemporary, time, if you look at ulama or muballiqeen, those who are pro-unity, those who are respecting other people, those who speak to other people, how much they have done, and how much those people who only, curse and swear at people and partition people and, say, everything is black and white, how much they have done. The maximum honor, they say, we have made, converted some people. What is the benefit of converting few people and then making thousands or millions of people angry? No? They say, we have made this much Shia. First, how accurate it is. But even if you have made 1,000 or 100,000 Shia, but you have made hundreds of millions of people angry, what's the benefit? They don't understand. So we have to make sure that, inshallah, the next generation would understand what is the balanced position, how you can be confident and strong in your faith, but at the same time approachable, at the same time nice to other people, communicate to other people, build bridges. This is very important. Okay, let's have a break and inshallah we continue. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alamin.